Hello everyone, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you're all having a great day. To start things off, Bitmain, the dominant force in cryptocurrency mining, is considering going public in what could be a record-setting offering for the industry. Bloomberg reports that the China-based company, led by the controversial CEO Jinhan Wu, is quietly laying the groundwork to launch an IPO or an initial public offering, perhaps at some point in the near future. Towards this end, Bitmain has gradually begun to step out of the shadows, at least somewhat, and the originally enigmatic Wu has begun to conduct more public interviews. Wu told publication that the company raised $2.5 billion in revenue last year, a figure somewhat lower than estimates from industry analysts, but nonetheless quite impressive. Yeah, I would definitely say so. According to other estimates, Bitmain controls as much as 80% of the manufacturing market for application-specific integrated circuits, or ASIC, mining devices, which, once developed for a specific mining algorithm, quite quickly replace miners powered by GPU chips. Canaan Creative, whose devices account for roughly 15% of the ASIC market, recently filed for a Hong Kong IPO that is expected to raise $1 billion. Wu has said that he believes Bitmain is worth $12 billion, while other estimates have put it around $8.8 billion. Still high. Bitmain brought in 12 times as much revenue as Canaan during 2017, which, depending on the success of Canaan's offering, could lend credence to Wu's valuation. Bitmain is literally one of the largest entities in the entire cryptocurrency space. It's actually insane how powerful these companies, whatever you want to call them, have become in such a relatively short amount of time. It has to be no more than 3, 4, 5 years, somewhere around there. They're worth more than other companies that we grew up with since our childhood. If I'm not mistaken, I believe that this is actually Bitmain's mining pool and pool. These three alone, controlling more than 51% of all the mining in Bitcoin, are actually just from 3 Chinese companies. Absolutely insane. This is why I keep saying, should China one day get back into the space, it's just going to completely dominate everything that's been going on in the entire cryptocurrency world. But very weird to think that this is just only held by 3 companies. There was news a bit early that I don't have in this video. I believe some company was approved for a $700 million mining factory in upstate New York in America. And they said that they want to become the largest mining pool in the entire world. It's makes you really wonder how much money is actually in the space and why if you have any doubts about where cryptocurrency is going, I know the market is just ridiculous at the moment, but you have to keep in mind that I don't think anybody would be investing $700 million to start their own cryptocurrency Bitcoin mining farms if they didn't expect some type of major returns in the future. But yeah, pretty intense. Let's see exactly where this ends up going. There's a lot of news about companies and even banks who are trying to get into the mining game, even though it's very difficult for everyday people to get into it right now. Next up, Poland is in the news. You don't typically hear about them too much. Financial regulators in Poland want to clear the air on the alleged cryptocurrency crackdown in the country. According to the KNF, the country's financial regulator, virtual currency traders have no reason to panic. The KNF wants to assure investors in Poland that there isn't any ban on virtual currency trading. The financial regulator's website even states that digital currency trading is legal in the country. However, Poland is serious about regulating the market to prevent money laundering, tax evasion, and terrorist financing. This is the same as every single other country. I'm pretty sure, like usual, it's just going to come down to regulating crypto exchanges, because they've said this many times before. A lot of them don't want to ban crypto at all because they see the monetary benefits from it, or where it's going to lead their country. But it pretty much just comes down to regulating where the coins are flowing through, so they kind of have an idea of what's happening in the space. Consequently, the KNF plans to introduce new regulatory laws for Bitcoin and altcoins. The law, which take effect from the middle of 2018 of July, classify cryptocurrencies and exchange platforms as obligated institutions. Thus, the Polish cryptocurrency market by this new act will be under money laundering and terrorist funding legislation. Completely normal. This is what they're all doing. The KNF, however, maintains that the ban on cryptocurrency ICOs remain. I'm not going to say what ICOs are. You guys already know that. Poland is also stepping up its efforts to inform its citizens of the dangers in the cryptocurrency market. Its campaign focuses on the lack of robust regulations in the industry, advising people to take great care when investing in cryptocurrency assets. This is why a lot of people were very afraid, because they had a huge campaign that was going on for quite a while now, where they're pretty much telling everybody, it was more like a watch out, don't touch it, as opposed to we're not going to ban it, you can get into it. So this is why a lot of people were very afraid. In a related development, the country's finance ministry announced an update to the controversial cryptocurrency tax laws. An earlier ruling had stipulated two tax brackets of 18 and 30% for cryptocurrency transactions. However, after a barrage of condemnations and online protests, the finance ministry has backtracked, stating that there will be no taxes on cryptocurrency transactions. The fact that they even thought that was a good idea from the get-go is kind of completely out there. There were a lot of other countries that also came forward saying that they were going to try to tax transactions, literally meaning anytime if you went to a store and you bought something for 50 cents, you would be taxed, or there would be a tax on that. And any type of movement back and forth, it just completely, this is why I said you have to remain vigilant. You have to, if you have the chance to message or send someone an email or write someone a letter who works in your country, in your Congress, in your parliament, please do so. Let them know exactly what's going on with cryptocurrencies and what you think should also be happening with them. They need public opinion because they are lost. And I don't mean that as a joke. If you've paid attention to the last couple of things I've read about the countries, the only way that they've gotten this far is that other people have kind of come forward and told them, hey, no, you can't do this, or you should not do this because it's detrimental to the space. This isn't happening enough in the States, and this is why the SEC feels at least that they have an enormous amount of power over all of this, and they're trying to completely dominate the space without allowing any company to really grow. There was also something a day or two ago they were talking about in the United States, this had to happen a day ago. They were talking about, there was like a joke or something like that where someone was saying that, every time that something happens in the cryptocurrency space, the kids have to play in the sandbox, meaning that, the US will be hawkish and constantly look at you, whatever you do. So it just completely hampers it. Very nice news from Poland. Like I said, there was a huge discussion going on if it was even going to be legal in the country because of all this huge campaign that they had going on, the commercials that were being put on TV. But it's nice to have some clarity from some country, hint, hint, to a certain section of the world. Next up, Bitfinex and Tether are in the news. The top U.S. futures regulator has denied a Freedom of Information Act, or an FOIA, request for subpoenas reportedly issued to cryptocurrency exchange Bitfinex and the closely linked stablecoin operator Tether, according to reports obtained by CoinDesk. The FOIA request sought subpoenas issued to Bitfinex Inc., also known as Bitfinex, and its subsidiary companies, as well as subpoenas issued Tether Limited and its subsidiary companies, and was initially submitted in February. The filing came weeks after reports first indicated that Bitfinex and Tether had been subpoenaed by the CFTC, though it's not clear what exactly is being investigated. I have a pretty strong inkling it's the printing of money. The news followed the revelation that the relationship between Tether, which is the USDT, and its auditor Friedman had dissolved. For those who are not aware, Bitfinex is a stablecoin that we have in the cryptocurrency world that said that every single time that they create a new Tether that is on a one-to-one basis to the US dollar, that someone, somewhere, some investor had given them $1. The issue is there were certain days where the amount of Tether would shoot up by around $140 million. And people were like, if it was incremental, maybe $1 million a week, that would make a bit more sense. To date, I think Tether has been out, it has to be a year, maybe a year and a half, something like that. They now have, I believe, 2.5 billion Tether, which is a huge red flag. So this is why I assume the subpoena was started. In its response to the FOIA request, dated on June 5th, the CFTC wrote that it found thousands of responsive records, all of which are exempt from the FOIA's disclosure agreement, going on to cite a number of exemptions in denying the request, including one commonly applied to law enforcement investigations. I don't know how much longer Tether will actually be around. I am afraid of Tether leaving because once again, on the entire controversy, the news is, or the idea behind all of this is that every single time that Tether was printed, the price of Bitcoin went up. There are charts online. You can find this on Google. Type in like Tether Google price or something like, not Google price, Bitcoin price, and you'll be able to see the charts, how they followed each other. Even recently, I think like a month and a half ago, Tether printed another, it was like 200 million Tether or something like that, and the price of Bitcoin went up by 7%, I think that exact same day. So they're correlated. Will be interesting to see what happens if Tether ends up getting shut down. I assume the Bitcoin price will react accordingly because this, kind of has been pumping the Bitcoin price. But like I said in another video, we're also going to have about 7 to 8 other stable coins that are either launching in June of this year, right now, or in July as well. And I have an inkling of what they're going to be buying when they are launched. A lot of them have said that they are, I think, what is it called? Binance's one hasn't launched, or it took an extra day or two to launch because they said they had liquidity problems. And I assume that the other ones will only try to play catch up and print more cryptocurrency as well. If we see a huge spike in the price of all the cryptocurrencies by around August, September, you probably will know why then, because I assume all these stable coins, or the people who are creating these stable coins that are not backed by any government institution, will more or less be buying up as much Bitcoin and Ethereum as they possibly can. This is just how I feel about it, just how from what we've seen historically when it comes to stable coins. Next up, Bitcoin price predictions have kind of been all over the place, and a lot of them have revamped their numbers because of where the market is right now. Despite recent price woes, experts are predicting that Bitcoin will double in value by the end of this year. As of late, uncertainties with regards to regulations and the seizure of Bitcoin in legal cases like Mt. Gox, which led to the unloading of coins on exchanges, has caused some stagnation. This means that, according to experts, the short-term cryptocurrency forecast is expected to remain relatively static, though not for long. David Hansen, who is a blockchain expert and CEO of the gaming platform Ultra, said, "I believe Bitcoin's price will continue to fluctuate between 6,500 and 8,500 in the coming weeks. In the medium to long term, Bitcoin's value should go up as big institutions into the cryptocurrency space in a bid to gain first mover advantage, further legitimizing the market. The idea that institutional investors will provide a boost to the digital currency and altcoins is shared by other figures in the space who are looking at the cryptocurrency to break the $10,000 barrier again in coming months. If Bitcoin does not break 13,000 by December, this is a huge indication that there is something very wrong with the market and with the manipulation of the market. I've said this time and time again. Bitcoin dominates the price of every single other coin. It says it dictates where every other coin must go. I would, how do I say this? I would be interested in seeing a cryptocurrency, like a CoinMarketCap type website that did not have Bitcoin listed. I would be interested to see exactly how the prices would flow, especially as more altcoins end up getting their own individual fiat pairings or pairings to other cryptocurrencies. Because a lot of people, nearly everyone, including myself, tend to use CoinMarketCap for their prices, and this kind of like gauges exactly where the market is going to go, even though everything is denominated in Satoshis. If by the end of this summer, we've had so much news, especially, I'll say September. We've had so much news about these institutional people who are supposed to be getting into the market. When these people touch the market with their golden fingers, Bitcoin should at least be $25,000. If we had news that, I don't even know, any of the major institutions got into cryptocurrency, were buying up, had been buying it up for a very long time, planned to launch this or so-and-so, they, currently had 300,000 Bitcoin in their custody and they were trying to get more. This should explode the price of Bitcoin. Just even doubling in price, I think, is kind of a virtual slap to the face, if you know what I mean. We got to 20,000 on our own backs just from general hype sometime the end of last year, and then started going down because of governments, Mt. Gox, Tether, or whatever you want to, blah, 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 whatever was going on in the market. If we just double from where we are now, that is completely ridiculous because the price is even sitting around 7,600 right now. I think that would be a shame if we didn't get a lot higher. On Bitcoin's price, if you notice this, the market has literally just been going sideways. Bitcoin's price has just been going sideways ever since the end of May, and I'm not exactly sure what's going on. A lot of people say that it's consolidating. A lot of people say that it is forming a trend and is about to break out. I watched the video yesterday. I'm not going to name the person who made the video. I thought it was hilarious. He said in the video, he was checking his charts, and he said, well, one of two things can happen. We're going sideways. It's consolidating. It's forming this pattern, and the price is either going to go up really high or it's going to fall back down. And I sat there thinking, wow, he just predicted the entire market. For whatever reason, I still believe this is incredibly coordinated. We have never, you can check the charts, had a time where we've had such good news and the price of, do you see this completely going sideways? These are completely organized. Going down, it's complete, like things are moving sideways because people are buying into the market. These little price jumps, the problem with these price jumps is that every single time we go from 7,400 to around 7,600, the market not goes crazy. Tons of people are writing articles about the market is definitely moving its way back up, and you can see that there have been more significant jumps and or falls over the last couple of weeks. I don't know what's going on. None of you know what's going on. No one in the world knows what's going on. I don't even know. I was going to say let's hope or like cross our fingers, but something definitely is happening. Whether the price goes up or down, the only places it could literally go, I think something definitely major is going to happen very, very soon because the market is very, I told you yesterday, I was reading an article called The Boring Cryptocurrency Market. Either people are going to become completely annoyed with it and kind of start pulling out and the market will completely slump, or somewhere along the way within the next couple of weeks, someone will announce something major that they've been talking about that they were going to announce in June, and then the prices will eventually go back up because all the price predictions that we had, especially the one was the other guy, he was like, May is the last time that Bitcoin would be below $10,000. Yeah, it looks like it's going to be in June as well. Not to be like a downer, but I mean, it's just kind of realistic for what the market is. I read the comments before. I know a lot of people don't like when I dismiss TA or when I talk about price predictions. But I mean, you have to include these and you have to talk about them because you can tell that people are still optimistic about the market. But the market is just kind of stagnant. And it doesn't make any sense, especially from where we were last year when it was 1/10 of the people who were in the market. It was completely going insane by this point. And lo and behold, we have all this amazing news and Bitcoin goes sideways. Next up on the discussion of Bitcoin mining, Bitcoin Core, or rather Bitcoin at this point, because there actually is a coin called Bitcoin Core, Bitcoin developer Matt Corallo has published a draft of a Bitcoin improvement proposal, or a BIP or BIP, that aims to further decentralize Bitcoin mining through the adoption of a new mining protocol. Published by Corallo, perhaps better known by his social media handle, The Blue Matt, on his personal GitHub repository this week, the Better Hash mining proposal seeks to address one of the many pressures in Bitcoin mining that push the ecosystem towards centralization. Right here. Where was I? Centralization. Stratum, the most widely used mining protocol. As Corallo explains, deficiencies in the design of Stratum, combined with the fact that most Bitcoin miners point their hash power towards mining pools, limit the diversity of block templates used across the network. This, he claims, gives pool operators undue influence over network upgrades and reduces Bitcoin censorship resistance. He said it's difficult to implement and poorly documented. The design of Stratum protocol requires pool operators to build and distribute block templates to their clients without a diverse body of miners constructing block templates. The network's censorship resistance is jeopardized. Pool operators may use their positions of power to restrict the flow to protocol upgrades. There was something a day or two ago that I found really interesting. A lot of people are starting to talk about exactly what is going on with Bitcoin mining. I think a lot of people have become very concerned that it's in the hands of a small amount of people, especially in a country that has been threatening to ban cryptocurrencies for the last forever now. There are a lot of proposals, especially remember a couple of days ago where I was talking about someone had, was it Hawaii? I don't remember the name of the company, Huobi, who created or were thinking about creating their phone that had Bitcoin miners inside of them. I like the idea of this. And I've actually thought before about trying to start not a campaign, but something to get people to start mining in their homes as well. But Bitcoin mining is extremely inefficient. I'm not in the mood to make around like $1.16 a day from mining and having a huge electricity bill at the end of the month. I don't think Bitcoin is ever going to get to proof of stake, like ever. So I think it's going to remain this way for a very long time, but I hope that they figure out some type of way that allows at least normal people to be able to mine. This is, I think, why a lot of the hard forks have happened with Bitcoin, because it's, if the coin is by the people for the people and the people can't mine it, it kind of, defeats the purpose. You don't want gigantic entities to be able to control the production and the network costs of Bitcoin. Next up, Putin is in the news. Little bit of a backstory onto this. There was like a huge thing that happened yesterday. It was like a couple hour long discussion. I think it's somewhere in the article exactly what it's going to be. He's a scary guy. The things he was saying about, first of all, he was talking about war as he was talking about cryptocurrencies. And he was like quoting Albert Einstein. If you Google Putin, Albert Einstein, and you go do like the last 24 hours, you'll see exactly what I mean. It was a very odd discussion that took place, and I'm not sure why this was televised. So, amidst a national narrative in which cryptocurrencies is somewhat endorsed and sometimes disparaged, President Vladimir Putin has confirmed at least one emerging truth about cryptocurrency moving forward in the Russian Federation. Vladimir Putin has made clear his take on the sovereignty of cryptocurrencies. He said, Russia inherently cannot have its cryptocurrency just like no other can have its cryptocurrency, said the Russian head of state during an hours-long annual question and answer session with the Russian citizenry. He said this is because when we are talking about cryptocurrency, this is what goes beyond national borders. Putin went on to say, the central bank believes that cryptocurrencies cannot be means of payments and settlements, cannot be means of hoarding, and are not secured by anything. He went on to express Russia's cautious approach to cryptocurrencies. The so-called Direct Line Q&A session is held every year, and several reputable organizations claim the questions posed during the Direct Line are curated beforehand. I'm almost certain of that. Even so, President Putin is correct that to constrain a cryptocurrency to a single nation is likely impossible, echoing regulatory concerns being explored by the G20 and the European Parliament. Right. So I guess all hopes of Russia having their own cryptocurrency have been thrown out of the window. It's just all very odd. Like, they literally love cryptocurrencies one day, then one day they hate it, and then they love blockchain, and they come out and say that they hate blockchain, but cryptocurrencies will definitely change the world. We've had multiple news before that Russia definitely has in the north, like mining, not even pools, like factories. They've coal mining factories and metal smelting places that have been completely shut down. They're now being used to mine cryptocurrencies as well. I think part of the reason why this discussion happened was to not to put clarity on it in the country, but I think they became concerned because I think part of the reason why they talked about having their own crypto ruble was because they thought they would be able to completely control it, but it's digital and it can move across borders, and I think this is part of what really is scaring countries right now. If you pay attention to any of the conversation things that are going on, like I always say, make sure to always do your own research. If you have the time, if you have 5 minutes when you're doing nothing else, open your tablet, open your phone, and start reading cryptocurrency news, especially things about different countries. I don't want to say they're scared, but you can tell they don't know what's going to happen or exactly what's going on. When you watch videos and stuff like that, or conferences from Andreas Antonopoulos, who is like Mr. Bitcoin, the feeling that he gives when he talks is that countries literally have no idea what's going on, and that Bitcoin is going to completely dominate the entire world, because the longer countries take to make up their mind about what they're going to do, what they plan on doing, how they plan on regulating, the stronger Bitcoin gets, and the more people end up mining Bitcoin, and the closer that we get to a higher Bitcoin price. All very interesting going forward, but I'm going to assume that nearly all of the country cryptocurrencies aren't going to happen for quite some time, because earlier this year, when they were all planning on doing so, they were all talking about it. Japan came forward and they were like, if any country does this, you are making a huge mistake. And I'm sure they've probably all been talking together, and this is the conclusion that they've all kind of drawn. Last up, CobinHood is in the news. Popular cryptocurrency trading platform CobinHood has announced plans to launch a new decentralized exchange platform, or a DEX, with financial backing from IDG Capital. Sorry about that. Cryptocurrency exchange CobinHood recently released plans for a brand new decentralized cryptocurrency trading platform called Dexon. The new project has significant financial backing from investment firm IDG Capital, which currently handles over $20 billion in assets. Dexon aims to become a big player in the banking industry and newly emerging decentralized application, or DApp, ecosystem. The Dexon team is boasting an infinitely scalable architecture through a block-lattice data structure in which multiple blockchain systems work together in parallel. This system allows for much quicker transaction speeds than the traditional linear blockchain systems. Everyone is boasting about infinitely scalable everything right now, and at the moment, whether you say so or not, no one has been able to prove on any exchange and or coin project that their anything is infinitely scalable. I assume we'll get there eventually, but everyone keeps claiming that theirs will be the best. I don't know if you guys have ever used right, so they said that they plan on launching in the beginning of, or rather Q4 2018, with a mainnet going live in Q4 2019. That's like 9 years away, so I'm not exactly sure what they're planning. I know it's not 9 years away, I can count. If you've ever used decentralized exchanges before, a lot of them don't work. A lot of them, part of the reason, I know, when it comes to centralization and decentralization, a lot of the reasons why centralized projects or companies like Google and other places end up working so well is because they have a central hub where everything can kind of be fixed and or worked on. But when it comes to things that are decentralized and things that kind of build themselves and there's no central core person for it, they don't typically do too well. I eventually assume we're going to have a great decentralized exchange, and this is when I think other people will start to flow more into these a lot easier. But it's still impossible to have a decentralized exchange where you can put fiat into it to be able to actually trade the coin. So it's still a barrier for a lot of people who want to get into the cryptocurrency space. Let's see exactly how this works out. CobinHood has been randomly in the news, and a lot of people are creating their own crypto exchanges. There has to be like thousands upon thousands of them right now. And at least from all the major players in the cryptocurrency space, we've at least heard from, it's been over like 115 who are trying to get into this space or make their own exchange. But this will also help with liquidity in the long term at least. All right, everyone. Very random news day, but still a lot going on in the cryptocurrency space as usual. Hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys have a great day, morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are, wherever you might be. Thank you once again for all the support. You guys are awesome, and I will talk to you all soon. See you.